lose it there.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
The first order of business, as always, is approve our minutes as of last Monday, December 23rd. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Tom has moved. Entertain a second.
I'll second.
Cody a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Consent agenda. We have two items. Move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign one tax abatement to the tax roll in the amount of $491.80. And there are two other items. Move upon the request of Coffee County Housing Authority Board, move to authorize and direct chairman to sign a real estate mortgage release, acknowledge satisfaction of full debt secured by Dick Leroy Beatty. Lots here in the city of Burlington. The second one is move to request the Coffee County Housing Authority Board move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign real estate mortgage release, acknowledging satisfaction of full debt secured by Tommy K. Saresic and Sharon K. Saresic. And these are also some lots here in Burlington, Kansas. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Tom is so moved. Entertain a second.
I'll second.
Fred is second. Any discussion?
That's Dirk Beatty.
I'm sorry?
That's Dirk Beatty.
Okay.
I don't remember how you pronounced it, but I didn't know if we got wrote down wrong.
I have heard.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just got off the phone with Wade, and he wanted to add an executive session to the agenda, to discuss, attorney-client when you get down to the bottom of the agenda.
10 o'clock.
10:10 it looks like,
After break.
and then he gave me, a document for you to look over before you talk to him, and I'll get him on the phone so you guys go into executive session, but he wanted me to go ahead and hand this out to you ahead of time, but it's not open public record. And then he, at the end of the executive session, he asked for me to pick the documents up and shred them.
Don't have anything for miscellaneous motions, and I may have already made that comment. Next thing on our agenda is the insurance committee members, Commissioner Bob Saresic, County Clerk Angie Kirshner, Payroll Benefits Coordinator Denise Hemrick, mid-year update. Who's gonna take the lead on that?
One of those ladies, because
One of
they've
them.
been in it for years, and I've only been in it a little over a year.
Yeah.
Probably Denise might be doing that. Looks like, I'm here to do something.
Good morning, Angie, how you doing?
Morning, good, thank you.
Okay, I'll just typed up a few points, and then if Angie or Bob have anything to add, they can do that. But I wanted to kind of give you, last year we talked about how we had a rough year, But the final numbers are in, and our monthly loss ratio was 90.86%. And even when we were with Blue Cross, the standard is to try to get 91. So we didn't do that bad anyway, even though we had a few big claims. So our system, I think, is working the way we're doing it. Our average MedTrax prescription reimbursement has been $9,500, and with Blue Cross we got nothing.
Yeah.
Now that's per quarter, but still, it's money we didn't get before. And I think we need to give our employees a kind of a pat on the back here, because if you look at the generic drug usage, which saves us a lot of money, 91.3% of our prescriptions are generic. 8.4 are using brand name, but that's because there's no generic available for that drug. And only 3% are using a brand name when a generic's available. So our employees are helping us out. Our current year, we only have 5 months in for our numbers. So our currently month loss ratio is 46.48%, so we're doing okay. We've had a few things going on, but once those are cleared up, I think we'll be back on track. And I thought it was interesting that we have 146 employees, but we have 36 spouses and 74 other dependents, for a total of 256 people on our plan. Our employees are definitely, the whole point of having that, where you use Coffee County, you get a better rate, is obviously working, because if you look at our top 3 places we're utilizing, look what we're doing. Coffee County $2.99, Topeka $40, and KU $21. Our people are staying here and supporting our local doctors and our local hospital. But most important to me is the fact that being self-insured, we've been able to get things done. If there's a problem, they come in, we get it fixed. You guys haven't been hearing a lot of people come to you and gripe, because we can now get things done. Before, there was nothing we could do. Like the back surgery debacle that went on, that they wouldn't pay for, and Grandma had to shell out $300,000. We could now have something like that done and fixed. That's all I have. Do you guys have something?
Not really too much, other than that, let's see, Gallagher, our representative, they were impressed with the way everything's looking for our employees and the county, and they continue to help us out with any new ideas or suggestions, and so I think that's been a good thing to keep up with them.
Yeah, they're amazing to work with.
Yeah.
The only thing
Our risk is what, anything above 125? Did we leave that at 125?
125, yeah.
Is there any suggestion that maybe that needs to be increased, but as long as we stay in this level, probably no reason to change it?
Can I take
Which
that?
that's still 6 months away.
We looked at changing it last year to 150.
We looked at changing it last
And they said
year.
it wouldn't have made much of a difference at all. If we were going to make a difference, we'd probably have to go up to 200,000.
And that might be too risky, I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is that Holly, who is actually not shown on our network, is still covered by, Gallagher's got her covered.
Yeah.
Instead of, even though she is not shown as being on our network, she is covered in a local, yeah.
To our employees.
Yeah.
And one thing I forgot was, Emporia Newman Medical is not providing contractor right now, because they would not sign the contract again this year. It's not just with Coffee County, it's with the insurance. That happens from time to time, but immediately we send out an email to all employees letting them know they could still go there, they just wouldn't get in-network rates. So when that changes, because it invariably will, we'll send out another notice saying it's in-network again, but they weren't even in the top 6 of people going there anyway.
And that could change before the first of the year.
Thanks for the report.
Well, I was gonna add one last thing. The nice thing about it too is that, they've worked with us, like if a particular doctor or, medical group or something is not on the plan, they'll work with them to get them signed up, so it's really been a great thing for everybody to have that availability, so.
Any questions before I go to work?
Well, I need to-
Oh, okay.
Did you get hold?
I did. Although we
We're
wanted to
20
know,
minutes early right now.
because the public hearing is at 9:30, so do we have to wait? Maybe he can go ahead and give his report.
His report before that part.
Yeah. I think all of you heard that Wade, will be in touch with him by phone somewhere around after 10 o'clock for an executive session. There has been a document passed out that we need to probably review just very briefly. And following the executive session, this does need to be given back to Donna so that it can be shredded and destroyed. Boy, Wayne got to be up pretty quick.
I said he was set up.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we close it, the courthouse offices all close at noon, correct? The courthouse stays open until we get done with business, then it closes and everyone can go home.
Right, the courthouse lobby doors are locked at noon. Everybody's supposed to be in their offices doing year-end stuff until everything's balanced and
It
you
can't be
guys
locked
say
if we're in session.
That's true.
They cannot be locked.
Okay, the courthouse is
The
closed.
courthouse offices are closed.
Yes,
And then once we're finished, if they're finished, they can go home then.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Once you guys are done,
Yeah.
if they're done.
I had an email from
We just
Lindsay. Did everybody get the same email?
have no idea what you're talking about.
And wanting some explanations on that. Has the courthouse always been closed on the 31st of each year?
Yeah, for year-end balancing.
Is it closed? The only two departments that actually wouldn't have any business with funding coming in would be the county treasurer and possibly the clerk's office. Do we go ahead and pay to the 4:30 or 5 o'clock? We go ahead and pay that 3 or 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Everybody's supposed to stay till we all leave.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's supposed to stay
Until
until
the
we all
commission
leave.
leaves.
Yeah. They can be
And that goes
cleaning
for the road and
up.
bridge as well as the,
Well, Road and Bridge, I believe,
Noxious
just goes
department.
on their normal hours because they leave at 3:30 anyway. So,
well, I need to respond to Lindsay, but I didn't know how to respond to her for sure, so.
Yeah, we're all supposed to stay until it's done, and then, because
And
there's
that could
always
be, that
something
could be
you
1
can do.
o'clock, or it could be 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yes. Last year, I think it was 3:30.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can be cleaning out your files, getting ready for the
Well,
new
there's
year.
things
I
they
mean,
can-
there's
everybody
things
can do
that
it.
can be done.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what we'd done the last 2 previous
Well,
years, so.
the treasurer's office and the clerk's office are the last ones to basically do, to make everything work.
Yeah, that's
So
what, that's the reason I mentioned.
So
it,
until
too.
they're gone, no one else should leave until they're ready to leave also.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Karen?
last year, there was offices who had left, and we had not even balanced with it. We had not even balanced the money, and every office left. We were the only ones that were still here.
So if that's being said, and what is supposed to happen, we need to get a message out to our department heads that they can't shut down until the commissions are totally done.
Well, last year, you guys were done and had already left, and we were still trying to balance, because we have a lot of year-end stuff and just the money balancing and everything else, and we have to get a final report off to the auditor, to show him where our cash on hand is at, you know, we have to make a deposit and everything. And like I said, last year, we were here quite a while after everybody left, because we were still trying to balance. And we wasn't sure, because if we had a problem or we had a question, I had no way of calling them if, let's say, a receipt was wrong and we needed to double check on something as to what was brought to us or whatever when we got it, so, I think all of us would like a good explanation, I mean, a good,
I guess I'm a little bit concerned why we left and you still weren't balanced out. I mean, in other businesses I've been involved in, nobody leaves until things are balanced.
In years past, the basement has been a ghost town at noon.
Maybe it ought to be that everyone will work until we announce that it's finished and you can go home.
To me, that's absolutely the way it needs to be, Bob. My personal feeling. So,
Because
that being said, we need to get a notice out of department heads until we shut down. Everybody's still on job site.
We can do that.
Is that agreeable with all the
Yep.
commission?
Mhm.
So this comes up every year. Is this something that needs to be put in the policy book?
It probably needs to be evaluated, being a part of it. I'm not sure what the policy book says.
It doesn't say anything about,
Well, just like our letter to department heads to give for turning in all the year-end stuff. This needs to be on that letter. And they or someone from the department needs to be here to answer questions if they arise until we're done.
Well, I think every employee does if they're gonna get paid for it, because,
Absolutely, since they're being paid, they got a responsibility to be here. So you or Denise, you or Angie, get notification out to the department head.
sure.
Okay.
I don't know if it's really be a policy, it's more of a procedure.
I was just gonna say the word procedure.
This is the way, that, you know, you just don't leave without, till it's dismissed in a sense.
We can ask Wade later,
Yeah.
see what,
If you
see
think
how
it
he
needs to be a
responds.
policy, we can make one.
Everybody already signed that one, so that's why I set it up there.
Oh, okay.
Stan will have to be here from 1 to 3.
And
I couldn't believe they did it on that day, I'm like, you guys expect us to go down there, where we're
That
gonna
was
be.
one of the reasons why I asked what was the procedure here, because I didn't know for sure.
I've never been, excuse me, never been involved in this, so we gotta come in tomorrow and,
Yeah, because we have to do year-end transfers.
Because we're supposed to recess today until 11 o'clock tomorrow.
till 11.
11, that's what I've been told.
So we report back here. at
We
11
report
tomorrow.
back at 11 tomorrow.
How
Angie
long
said,
needed.
that's a time frame is what Angie
Okay.
suggested to us.
Sometimes we're here not too long, and sometimes we're here quite a while.
Karen, do you want me in that notice I send out about everybody staying, do you want me to remind them to have their money turned in at a certain time, or are you gonna do that?
I've already mailed that out a week ago, and I sent out another reminder about credit card payments today.
Well, he must have took a long way around.
Just,
Fred, do you have any, we could do a little round table, or what do you got, Bob?
while we're waiting, you guys, I asked you about bringing Joanne from the chamber in.
Okay, yeah.
She is on the agenda next week for 10:10, for about 30 minutes conversation
Okay.
for her. She
I
could
didn't
be on
bring
the
my new
agenda.
book here, so.
I called it up here and asked about it, and he said, yeah. She'd be glad to come in. I think she has some good information one way or another.
I thought we paid her salary, but now we don't. I just assumed that, so I looked through the books, so. So it'd be kinda, I don't know how you combine them.
If you combined it, you'd probably have to start paying her salary.
Yeah, exactly.
Fred, do you have anything to bring forward the commission?
No, I
Unless
don't.
something
Not right now,
happens later?
not right now.
Okay. Tom, do you have anything?
Not this morning.
Doesn't the money from the bed tax go to the chamber? Doesn't it help pay the chamber's salary? Which, I mean, that money could come to, bed tax could come to the county, so in a sense, yeah, we kinda are
Some of
help paying the
They
salary.
give them money, I know,
Mhm.
make contributions to the chamber.
Bob, do you have anything at this time?
No.
Cody?
No,
And I don't either, other than I visited with Rhonda Trulove a little bit this morning. She's got 3 applications in on economic development. And, there's, of course, that advertising is still out there. And with Bob asking our chamber, person to come in to visit with us, I think that'll give us, maybe give us more insight on the exact direction we need to be looking at. So other than that, I don't have anything else here. Denise, are you aware of anything?
Angie will probably talk to you about year-end numbers a little bit, but, yeah, that's probably what she's working on right now.
You have anything on a round table, unless something comes up later?
No, I don't,
Not at this time.
not this time.
Don, I got a new calendar here. When, the 10th is the legislative deal.
yes.
Yes,
And that's
10:30
10:30.
to noon, and then we go over to the hospital and eat lunch.
And when's the Alice training?
15.
15th. Okay. And
I don't know what time.
at noon, at noon. And
You said it was on the 10th, Bob, the
10th is legislative deal, is that correct?
legislature.
What time was that?
10:30 to noon,
10:30. Meeting rooms downstairs.
and then we go to the hospital and eat lunch, so probably until 1.
Bob, do you want some scissors?
No, it's,
About got it now.
about that now.
Good morning.
Morning, Wayne, we're ready for you, Wayne.
Okay. Well, Kenny's gonna set up my projector, so we'll get going on that. Everybody's going?
Wayne,
Okay.
The,
Wayne, what's the statute
Yeah.
number for this public hearing?
Oh, I'd have to look that up, Bob.
Would you?
is that something we've done the last 2 years?
Well, we've always announced that we were gonna do, basically, construction review. But,
If it's not in the paper, how, was it, notice in the paper was gonna have a public hearing on it?
The agenda was.
the agenda was, yeah.
Is 10 minutes sufficient?
Oh, it gives people an opportunity to come in and visit about it.
No,
So,
it's sufficient for you,
To do the whole presentation?
yeah.
Probably not.
Well, that was gonna be like my question, like for last week, you presented all these construction projects. You, like, let the clerk's office know how much time you may need, or do they just assume it's gonna take you 10 minutes?
Well, I think
Because there
she,
were several people that had to wait last week.
I think she puts in some numbers. I think it's a matter of, coordinating. Both her and I can visit about it as far as time,
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
so.
is respect to the others that would be in line after you, is all like last week, you know?
Yeah.
We had to, we spent a lengthy amount of time, which I don't mind, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I mean, it just, like I say, they know, they just guess you're gonna take 10 minutes, or do you tell them you're gonna take 10 minutes?
Well, to be honest,
Because if you're gonna take 20 or 30 minutes now, this agenda.
is there anybody behind us on this one? I don't know.
You're behind this,
Bob.
The public.
you're behind the public hearing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, to be,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't mean it in a bad way, I'm
Right.
just saying, just to help when you,
right.
when we get to rolling. I mean, that first year, I'm assuming there's gonna be more people in line behind you. So if
Mhm.
you need 40 minutes to do your presentations and/or, then maybe the clerk's office ought to know you need 40 minutes instead of assuming that you're gonna do it in 20.
Right. And it's, Angie does a good job
I know,
on
I'm
the
saying
agenda. Mine would be that there's a lot of times, I'm the only one that actually comes in every week that I'm aware of. And so with that, there tends to be, more information that
Well, I know
is
some
being
weeks you have more
requested.
to present than you do others too. I
Yeah.
mean, so
It may be one, most of the other presentations that happen pretty well stay within their time frame. Maybe we ought to consider moving Wayne to the last one.
I was thinking
And
that
that way,
too,
and then
Don.
we wouldn't be delaying somebody 30, 40.
Well,
Last week,
that
we
was
got
my
behind
only
50
concern.
minutes
Yeah.
at one time.
that would be,
Cause you guys have questions,
well,
and I'm
yeah.
trying to answer them.
Yeah.
I mean-
That may be someone need to take a serious look at, put you, not necessarily pushing you off in the back corner.
No, that's fine.
Put you last on the, and then
You can take all the time you need.
we can
instead
take all the time we need
of
to.
Somebody sitting there waiting an
Okay,
extra
we need to
20,
be
30
public
minutes.
hearing now.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, yeah, we're
That's what-
10:20, so we're in
yeah,
public
one.
hearing.
That's what it is.
Okay. But, you know, the public hearing is having more of a formal announcement on this one for the public hearing. It's just allow folks to come in if they did have any questions or concerns or wanted to be part of the process, that they'd have an opportunity to be here. That's what this is about. And mine is the more that I can educate, the more information I give you, not only you, but also the public, then I think basically we're better off as far as a community, as far as the county goes. So that's my intention. And even the presentation that we're gonna have, we're gonna give Mark the thumb drive so, you know, he can put out more information or information he'd like to capture in the newspaper. And so, you know, there's a lot of things that go on. We do have the largest budget in the county, and I think it's important for folks to know what we're doing out there. And so that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, and mine is to get as much information to you so that way you have a better understanding that we all make the right choices of where we're wanting to go and what we're wanting to do. So this here on this particular one was to more formalize it for a public hearing. If folks show up, great. If they're not, then that's fine too. But at least you're still going to be given information to continue to move on, so you can explain to them what we're doing. We have a pretty busy year for 2020, and I felt it was very important, other than our routine stuff. So, because Bob's forehead doesn't reflect very well, so.
I'm gonna move.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Put it on
so we
that.
don't have that glare ring up there.
Yeah.
Soon as he gets it.
Yeah, I don't wanna blind anybody.
But we can,
Okay.
You see, Cody?
Yep.
So as we're going over, you know, the idea on this one was, one is to allow the public to come in, more formalize it, just allow the public to come in. I assume we're not having any questions from the public at this point, so, then mine is to give information to you. So one of them is, report. This would be a report that I have at least one copy here for Donna to make available as you can. Is projects that we've completed here last year for 2019 is we had 8 storms from January the 11th through March the 1st, and our cost is $363,909. Gravel winter repairs, numerous locations from February 27th through May the 14th. We had just under $400,000. It'd be $397,299. Flood repairs, we had over 430 locations, spots, what we call them, from May the 9th through July the 16th. We had $924,982. So we almost had $1 million worth of flood damage that we'll be reporting to FEMA. Chip seal roads, we had over 41 miles chip seal roads. Fog sealed roads, we had 28 miles. Total of the chip seal and fog seal, we had $867,584 was our cost on that. 13 miles of hot mix asphalt. $1.2 million was $1,283,902. Work requests, we had over 40 locations of work requests that we dealt with, just under $250,000. We gravelled 17 miles of roads, $266,543. We had 1 mile that we had basically redone the ditches. We had over $56,000 there. Precast structure, we placed $56,000, about $57,000. We did also that bridge we don't have a cost on it, on this report. And I had 7 crossroad pipes, $70,657. And then I had 5, structures maintained, over $17,000. So total of, work, that was completed, to which we have work orders for, over $4,554,000 or $4,555,000.
So a summary of all that we could have.
That would be this one sheet that I had here, that I had, yeah, Donna,
It's
I
not
was trying not to,
Okay.
trying not to kill a tree, it's
Right.
my biggest one. But, those are the numbers that, reporting, so once again, trying to report, our projects for last year, 2019, as we're looking now at 2020. And the idea here is to pass on, our projects. And so, Kenny's been very helpful in this project and presentation, so let's go ahead and we'll kick on through there. Our mission statement, this is a mission statement that I have, that we continue to use to guide our operations. And I always take a few moments to read the mission statement, because I feel it's important. This is our goals as far as the highway department in reaching the goals and policies of the county. Is the Coffee County Highway Department is charged with the responsibility to construct, maintain, and operate the county road system and landfill operations as directed by the Coffee County Commission. The Highway Department is to increase the overall quality and safety of the road system with minimum maintenance and construction costs in order to reduce dependence on the tax levy requirement for operation costs. Review new methods of operations by researching and implementing new technology, reviewing current methods for providing the most efficient operations and service in the operations of the department. To respond to all citizens' requests in a responsive and professional manner shall be the goal of every employee in the Highway Department. To adapt a good neighbor policy with our approach to work request. Follow the golden rule, treat people as we would like to be treated. We shall be accountable for the policies of the county, co-workers, and citizens of the county for all work and actions requested in the operation of the department. Those are our goals that we move forward on every day. And so the next slide will be somewhat of a recap of responsibility that we have in the county. And so on that is, thank you, Kenny. Probably have to do that a little bit. Overall, that's our operating budget. This is a budget that was approved. Road and Bridge, $5,927,081. Special Bridge, those are funds that are available in Special Bridge and funded. So $1,070,600. In Solid Waste, we have a budget of $378,125. Total of 52 employees in the Highway Department, and that's also including the landfill. We're maintaining 228.5 miles of asphalt, 961.5 miles of gravel, and we have only 10 miles of dirt, so a total of 1,200 miles. Bridges, anything that has a span of 20 foot and larger, is 236 bridges. Off-system, 188.68 for rural secondary, which used to be called the FAS, Federal Aid Secondary. We also do the inspection for the City of Burlington, 5 bridges, and then 2 bridges in the City of Waverly. Now, they're responsible for their own bridges, but we'll do the inspections and pass that information on. Our culverts, these are only culverts that are basically crossroad culverts. A culvert could be anything from a metal pipe to a concrete structure or a laid-up stone type structure. With corrugated metal pipes, 2,476, 834 concrete structures, 109 laid-up stone structures, 32 steel pipe, 51 miscellaneous type structures. So overall, we have over 3,502 culvert type structures. Structures that are smaller than a bridge, but a lot of them too can be just shy of 20 feet. I mean, they're just as important you can still get a double set of axles, in between that span. Okay? Our construction projects, this would be the projects for 2020. This would be in book form. Here next week, I'll have the book form for you. These are some of the takeaways that you're going to find. Also, this is the same pages that you're going to find in that book. I was wanting to use this as an opportunity that didn't really know if we were going to have anybody here from the public to discuss this, so I wanted an opportunity to make any changes if there was. And so with that being said, in the book form you're going to find the locations, but you're also going to find them on these maps that's going to be shown here pretty soon. We have 47.75 miles of router and crack seal. We're going to have 37.75 miles of maintenance chip seal, 3.25 miles of milling, grinding, and double chip seal, and 4 miles of scrub seal, 41 miles of fog seal, 22 miles of farm access, and all work should be conducted with our personnel and equipment that we have in-house. We're proposing 9.5 miles of hot mix asphalt. As you can see, the location there is Shetland from 12th to 16th, 13th Road, Links Road 75, and I think this would be probably better shown on the map, but so I'll just skip telling you all those locations. The other one's Trefoil between 22nd and 25th. You can see our costs. Those are also our intersections. One's the California Street, that's the one down at Leroy. One is Shetland Street and Old Highway 50. That's the one up there by Waverly. Right now, projected cost is $901,000. That was based on, at this point, only 1.5 inches of hot mix asphalt. Once again, the plans themselves will be more detailed after basically the winter. During the spring, we'll reevaluate the roads and then take a look at the roads and see if there's any other work that needs to be conducted. But for estimating purposes, just right near $1 million. We do have $1.5 million in the budget. The additional money that we're going to have would be money that we'll be looking at funding up on Old Highway 50. And I can go into more detail on that, and we can discuss that. But that'd be matching funds I'm looking at as high-risk rural roads as far as options with the state funding. So we're going to use that as money that could be available for that. So we'll keep working towards that, and I can give you more information as you may have questions. Snap-tight liners. We have liners that we are in place of. These locations are to be put in for this year. We have over 500 lineal feet of liner pipes put in. And so we'll go to the next one there, please. We continue to stripe our roads, our asphalt roads, chip sealed roads, and so those would be our striping. And then we also have our shoulder lane miles, which is also shown on one of the maps as well. This is just our pie chart. There you go, Bob. We got to stand on our head on that one.
Tom's having trouble.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get out the Ben Gay, I think, for the neck there to kind of help ourselves. So this is our, this comes straight from our budget. This is basically taken off our budget as far as our commodities, contractuals, personnel services, and such. This shows us the pie chart accordingly and the percentages accordingly. Solid waste is not uncommon. Majority of the cost in solid waste will always be personnel. Because it takes the personnel to put the waste away. That's what you're really dealing with. And so they're really putting away the product or the material that comes in, and we are an enterprise fund, so the funding that we received, other than tax money, is funding through the gate. Most of this budget is really allocated for the operations. It does not basically pay replacement of equipment or, say, this landfill sale that we have coming up. And so and I'll touch on those two as you may have questions, which I'd like to visit with you on those as well. So let's go ahead and move to the next one there, Kenny. Oh, we missed okay. We had the other budgets, which would have been like road and bridge budget, and I don't believe that one got may have
No.
been put in there.
Oh,
Special bridge, there it is, yeah, we just passed it out.
my bad.
Okay. Special bridge, this is funding. Now, once again, on special bridge, the key here, the key takeaway is, that is used as not only for operations of taking care of our existing structures, it's also used as additional funds that could be made available. I kind of call it a savings account. That's where we place our extra money for our bridges as we're needing to replace bridges. And so we have several bridges. We're also going to have over 6 of these bridges that's going to have the resurfacing or the spalling, the crack repair, and seal of 6 bridges, which is going to be close to $1 million coming out for here in 2020. That's the one that BG's been working up, so I'll let you know on that one. Okay, I think we have one more. The other one is road and bridge. As you can see here, it's more balanced as you're taking a look at commodities, personnel services, contractuals. As this balance here is showing the operations for our personnel to be able to do snow and ice removal, to be able to do the landfill. Well, it doesn't show, it wouldn't be landfill on that one. Correct myself there. Do the snow and ice removal, do our maintenance on our 1,200 miles of road. That also includes our chip seals, our crack filling, our pothole patching. It also takes care of our gravel roads as well. So for the overall operations, also our maintenance is included in that for our equipment, and so that's the budget for the road and bridge. The 2020 construction project, this one here, Kenny showing is, this is showing you our chip and seal roads. This is showing also our double chips. The red up there of Ottumwa, that one is basically the double chip, is where we're going to have to grind those particular sections out. They were listed. That is a subdivision there. Bob, I think we were talking about that, and you were talking about not wanting to go any further south, basically in the wildlife refuge, to which we won't. The exact location onto it is not really shown on those maps. It really can't be shown there. The other location that you asked about over there on 12th Road, if we'll zoom in on 12th just a little bit right there on the end. Looking at 12th Road, and I believe it was Oxon, near Oxon is where it was ending at. That's just where they stopped it. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, as we were talking here last week, Bob, that normally those would be like at intersections, but I think that was like near one of the radiuses. The only thing I could really say that's probably the reason why it stopped right there. And so that's that particular section. The other one there, it shows to be kind of a, I don't know, is that a greenish blue perhaps? That's our hot mix asphalt there on Shetland. That would be our hot mix there, and we also have hot mix there at Burlington. Those were the roads that we were talking about, and we'll be looking at and I'll visit with you too on that as far as going through the city limits, where the city limits would be and where we would stop with hot mix or not. But I'd like to have that discussion later to say exactly where our stopping point will be at, but we'll definitely do the road that's in the county. But I believe in the past what we had done is we had done that whole section that went into the city there, that half mile. The next one is the one up there at Trefoil, south of Waverly. That's the hot mix, and then that also would be the intersection up there at 58 and Shetland. Let's go on down. And those would be the chip seals. Now, once again, they're at Reaper Lane, south of Leroy. That'll be last on our list. If we have opportunity, we'll put that one in. That would be over the fresh asphalt, once again, to continue to preserve the seal on that. But it'll be last on our list. The Gold Post Road, what we call the Gold Post Road, that would be one of our first one's on our list. The red, again, is that section of road that would require, the grinding and double chip sealing.
Which we
of
did
that
the
particular-
grinding last year.
We did the grinding last
We just didn't have
year
enough time to get to it.
to do the chip seal,
Yeah, it's just base rock there
just the
now.
base at
Yeah.
this point.
I think, you know, it's got a couple, 3 soft spots to the north side on the west.
Okay.
We'll probably need to re-examine some soft spots in there before we double seal it.
We may have to go back in and grind a few
Probably gonna have to-
locations.
Probably have to do a little more.
Get it ready, but we'll make sure it's ready before we
That's where you fell
start.
apart, because it didn't have a base under it.
Right. With that is, we can continue to move over back to the west a little bit, back in there. There we would chip seal, I believe that's Emmer, and then right there at the lake, Grizzly Lake. And then we have the grinding and double chip seal in that area.
Which if we did grind that last year also, it was just towards the end of the year where we was running out of time.
Just running out of time on our double chip seals, so. But any one of those that we had, basically prepped last year, when they go through a season and they didn't get sealed, we'll be evaluating those again, get compaction. Now we'll go back up and go just a little bit north there. That particular stretch, that's Fauna from 12th up to 16th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That one there is, that's the one we're gonna be doing the scrub seal on as well. There's a considerable amount of cracking, stress on that pavement, that we're gonna, do a fog seal onto it, chip seal, or do a scrub seal, chip seal, and then fog seal, would be the way to repair that particular one. And then 16th Road, and then we have a little bit in there in Jacobs Creek area, to do as well. And so, that pretty much takes care of our chip seal areas. So let's go on to the, unless you have any questions there, those are the roads that we felt, through history and through, our surveys here this fall, is the roads that we felt we needed to move.
What are we doing on Gold Post Road?
On the Gold Post Road down there, it's gonna be the chip seal and fog seal.
Chip and seal,
Does it have a lot, how much traffic does it actually have? I kind of put that with the St. Louis Road, I mean.
It doesn't have a lot of traffic, but traffic, there's a point in which traffic affects the road surface, then there's a point that age affects the road surface. And I believe what we're dealing with here is really age more than anything, is just due to exposure to the elements. You're gonna have cracking, fatigue that's gonna occur on those road surfaces. And if we allow those to continue, then the moisture will go down to the subgrade, and regardless of your traffic, then your road will start falling apart. So just putting a seal onto it, and it's really been a nice example. Been to a seminar where this gentleman basically explained the best way to explain a chip seal or maintenance seal is like you putting lotion on your hands. I mean, your hands dry out, and so do these asphalt roads. And so what we're needing to do is actually seal them back up, and that's what this chip seal does. And so it seals it back up.
At 2 miles coming out of Woodson County, and then a mile west and a mile north to 58, there's a huge amount of farm traffic on that. Because a lot of the grain comes out of Woodson County there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, the river bridge crossing there in Neosho Falls, but there's more traffic on that going straight north and west a mile and back north. There's a lot of traffic on. I was across all that here last week, and it's in pretty good shape. So sealing it and scrubbing it or fogging might be adequate.
It'll preserve it. It'll definitely preserve
Probably
it.
need to take a serious look at that 4 mile stretch, because there's a lot of farm traffic coming out of the bottom.
Our biggest problem with the heavy traffic is the turns, where our intersections where they'll turn there. What we've done down there on Reaper and Reaper Lane this year, I think it's going to be key as far as preserving of that road. That hot mix asphalt, it was needed at that time. It's not to say that we couldn't hot mix down there on Verdure, but as Bob, as you mentioned too, we're trying to find ways that we can be as economically efficient as possible. This way, we can seal it, preserve the road, without the additional cost of hot mix asphalt. But once we start getting wheel rutting into those roads, chip seal roads, then you really need to be looking at hot mix asphalt to start sealing it back up, or otherwise you're gonna find yourself grinding the road back up.
That 6 miles is holding up pretty good, so.
So, but that's, once again, our guys, they're second to none on our chip seals, fog seals. We've heard multiple compliments about our operations from suppliers, from other folks from other counties, even state agencies, that ours is a lot of the time is the example. I know I'm bragging a little bit about it, but I take a lot of pride. Our guys do a great job in doing this. For the most part, when you're looking at our chip seal and fog seal, we're doing it for about $22,000 a mile, is our estimate for the most part. And so, and I don't believe you'll find a contractor that can do it for that. We do a pretty good job. Maintenance and construction, we have several things going on there. There we go. These are a lot of our structures. Let's look at that index first there, Kenny, on the bottom of the page. So what we have is at the very bottom, we have the bridge deck and seal repair. That would be the 6 structures that would be shown on the map. We have locations of bridge maintenance. We have box culvert maintenance. We also have, in this particular area, our miscellaneous grading, our farm access roads, gravel road enhancements. These are things that's been somewhat ongoing. Also, too, is that was the one section that Don, we were visiting about here. We tried to blow that up, and we used, Kenny used Google Earth to show kind of the picture there in Leroy. So, yeah, we can move over there. That would be that ditching project that's right on the edge of the city limits of Leroy and also on the edge of the city limits of the county. This was something that was proposed for 2019. We were not able to get to it for 2019, but it'd be something that we'll hope to be carrying through on 2020. Let's go ahead and move on up to Matthias Lake just a little bit. Matthias Lake, this is the ditching projects that we have. And Tom, you were asking about how many cubic yards. Just roughly right now, about 7,000 cubic yards is that stretch there on Native Road is what we're looking at. That's the one that's just on the west side of the lake itself. Now, keeping in mind, Matthias Lake is I have broken it up in what I consider to be 3 phases. Phase 1 is the ditching that we're going to have. It will, one is close off all of the structures on Native Road that allows the Matthias Lake to pass back underneath Native Road going back to the west. We close those structures, so we stop Matthias Lake, allowing that influence of drainage on the west side of Native Road. We ditch along the west side of Native Road all the way down 1.5 miles. Now, it crosses over. It goes from the west side about 3/4 mile. It's on the west side, then it crosses over to the east side, which really doesn't show up on this map, but it does cross over. Then at that point, we're staying along the east side of Native Road, and then going down to, I believe that's what, 9th Lane. Then we're going down 9th Lane, then we're on the north side of 9th Lane, and then we carry it to that structure that actually carries the water down to Wolf Creek. That is a fairly large, it's a 6-foot bottom ditch, 3-to-1 side slopes onto it. Its capacity is about 18 square feet as far as water capacity. So that will allow that water to, because once again, that does not drain very fast. It's a very flat area, but that will allow storage for that water to come into that ditch. And then that ditch will hold that water until it's able to actually flow out there to Wolf Creek at that point. That's phase 1. Phase 2 and 3, phase 2 would have to be addressing Matthias Lake, and that would be the dam that's on the east side of Native Road, that we would have to address the dam, and then also the outlet. But the outlet is the landowners. It would have to be a arrangement with the landowner, with Mr. Nelson, that we would all agree to what would best help the area. So there has been discussion as far as taking the original outlet, that would be the southeast corner of Matthias Lake, and putting it back where it should be. But that's all going to be discussion that has to be held with Mr. Nelson. That's phase 2. There's going to be a lot of discussion that goes with it. Phase 3 would be actually the ditch that goes right down the center of that section, and that would be to clean it all the way down to Wolf Creek. Those would be the 3 things that would need to take place. Things that have been discussed. Our approach on this ditching is somewhat new from the file that's well over 30 years old. But the other items, as far as that ditch down the center and Matthias Lake itself, those discussions have been going on for 30-plus years. But I really feel good about this proposal. It's from Ryan and the group, Jeff, Doug, everybody putting their heads together to try to come up with ideas that best work for us. And we really feel comfortable, confident with that ditching that's going to be on the west side of Native Road. Really feel that that's going to make a big impact when we take those pipes away from that influence of Matthias Lake as far as pushing water back to the west. Unfortunately, we just could not get it done this year due to all the flooding. But as I reported earlier, I mean, we put in well over $1 million worth of work that was not scheduled for 2019 due to all that flooding. And so that's set us back a little bit. So that's a majority of the work listed on the map, and I think you had copies, draft copies here yesterday, or last week. Yes, last week. Thank you. So let's, unless you have any questions, we can we'll go to a couple other maps.
Where's the 7,000 cubic yards of dirt go to?
The way that works is when we're on any dirt project, any road project where we're cleaning ditches, is we'll contact the landowner first, because they have the first right for that dirt. And so if we can simply move that dirt back into the field, that's the easiest. The next one is picking the dirt up with our excavator, and then at that point, we once again visit with the landowner. And if they have a close location that we're not considerably a lot of expense as far as hauling it, we give it back to the landowner. It's their dirt. That's basically been discussed before. The third option then becomes where we would move the dirt to the landfill. Then at that point, that becomes another product for us, because the landfill, we're required to have daily cover on our landfill. So we use basically either our tarps or we use dirt. And so we're required to have both, one or the other, to satisfy the requirements or regulations for the solid waste. And so the dirt then becomes basically a product that is usable for our landfill. And so that's where the dirt would go. But it does go back on the landowner. I mean, if the landowner wants it and it's not too much of a problem, it's not too far out of the right of way, we will make arrangements to give it back to the landowner. Some of that dirt was actually here last year. I think it was over on Oxon, near that area. It actually was spread out into the field. And it was about 1,000 feet or so, I think, away from the ditch that we had spread that out into the field. But once again, it was more economical that way than it was to haul it. And so we're always looking at ways to say, okay, what's going to be the best way for us that's not going to cost us and still basically have something that we can use. But first option, as much as possible, we try to give it back to the landowner if they'd like to have it. So there's no value, we do not sell it or anything like that.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, so, okay, let's go to the next map or two. Replacement projects, let's look at our index again. Proposed bridge, replacement, these are the location, snap type, crossroad pipes we have identified. Now, this does not take care of all crossroad pipes. This one just takes care of ones that we have surveyed. So initially, when I was explaining that we have over 3,500 culverts, we had actually done a culvert survey. Just like we do inspections every 2 years on our bridges, we had actually done a inspection on all of our culverts. And all of our culverts at that point was rated. And we also had pictures of our culverts, so we know the conditions of these culverts. So we've been slowly trying to identify the worst ones and replace them accordingly. There are a few that do pop up due to rain that may expose that were not necessarily hazard identified in the initial inspections that we need to replace. So this is the ones that we have for plans, but there may be more that will actually be replaced than what we're showing on the plan on this particular one. And this will be definitely in your book, just as it has been here last year and the previous years. These maps will also be in your book. And these maps are being made available to Mark on that thumb drive too. So, okay, I think that's, the next one would be our shouldering program. This is one that's been ongoing for several years. We identified that we do have shoulders that we spray. These are the shoulders that we have Todd go out and get us the chemicals that we need to spray for the vegetation. These are the ones that's been identified in the county. All the rest of the shoulders, we allow the grass to come up to the edge of the road.
This stops where the other one stops also.
I believe
That's why evidently
where the spraying,
the spraying stops where the
grass and the shoulder may be.
well, on the other map, you know,
That's the same location.
That's the same location.
That's the same
That must be
location.
where something.
The
We went
curve
that
or the
far,
shouldering
yeah.
right there? Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. Two come together eventually, so whatever it is there,
Yeah.
make two different projects.
So that would be our, that's our spraying program, one we do every year. So,
That's it.
that's all we have there. Okay.
What compound do you spray on those road edges to sterilize them around?
That one I use up to Todd. Most of it has the Roundup onto it, but it's
Cause that just kills what it hits, there's no
yeah.
residual, okay?
No. Yeah, yes, that's correct. It doesn't sterilize it down below. It just, so we have that. Okay, the next ones,
Is Wade expecting us at a certain time?
I just asked Donna to change it to 11 or 10:40.
This is exactly what I mean by,
Yeah.
if we know
Yeah,
that,
we knew
he
this.
knows that he's gonna take 30 to 40 minutes
Yeah.
to present something that somebody else is waiting on.
Yeah, this can't be done in 10 minutes, so.
yeah. Well,
And I
yeah.
don't know where the lack of communication was there.
Oh, my part onto it is, I didn't really know on the public side of it. If the public was here, mine was more just to hear the conversation in that 10 minutes. So I felt that the 10 minutes was that kind of that conversation. Mine was also is to kind of go over the projects with you as well. So
Well,
it'd be
I
my
understand
lack
that,
of
but with all due respect,
communication.
you've been at 40 minutes and
Yeah.
Wade was expecting us.
Yeah.
So now we've had to put Wade on.
You're kind of
I
in your
asked
report
Donna,
now.
I asked Donna to check with Wade, and 10:40 worked for him, so.
I'm always over talking. That's my problem. So put me at the end of the agenda. I mean, just put me at the end of one.
I think
Well, we
that's
don't want to leave them open-ended either.
Well, what you can do is say anything after one, Wayne, you got to buy me lunch. I mean, you can do that too, and I can buy you lunch. That might speed me up a little quicker. I wouldn't. Yeah.
I think we do need to move it to the tail end.
Okay.
I don't mean any disrespect, I'm just saying,
No,
disrespect for the other people waiting.
But
I totally
now-
respect that.
we used to have you at the tail end, and you wanted to move to the front end because it was right in the middle of your day.
I
So-
don't remember that, but maybe, that might have been the
So
case.
you wanna reevaluate before you say that, 'cause it
You know-
makes you come in the middle of your day, and when you're.
Sometimes I'm chasing my tail, so it could be in the front or the back, so it just really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to us,
I'm
we're here
good.
anyway.
I'm good. So, mine is, we probably don't have any more here, thank you, Kenny, as far as the videos. But I do, just to recap a few other things that's going on for 2020. This is a very, very busy year.
Nice screen, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
Now we need a projector.
Yeah. We do have the cost share application. This is here last week. We talked about, and what I'm gonna be doing on that is increasing that fund, onto it as well. They're gonna allow us to reapply here in March. We talked, and the way I understood our conversation is I can up my, contribution from 15 to 25 to try to maximize that. And just to give you an idea what that may entail is, about $340,000 could be our contribution towards $1 million type project. And you say, well, that doesn't match 25%. What they're not putting towards the matching fund is the preliminary engineering, which I have estimated at $60,000, and the construction inspection, which is estimated at $42,000. Those are not a contribution towards that project. That would still be our local out-of-pocket cost. So, what we could see on doing, these would be the acceleration, deceleration lanes. And once again, I felt that the state has recognized our approach to first requesting all of 75 to have shoulders, then looking at 75 to say if we can't get the shoulders, then let's look at acceleration, deceleration lanes, and these would be all the intersections, asphalt intersections that would meet 75 highway, and this would also be the expansion of just north of Burlington at the stoplight too. And so these were all in the original proposal, acceleration, deceleration lanes, and this is like 8th Road as well, to 14th Road, I think that's something back, 8th Road, 7th Road, 14th Road.
As far as the north.
And then this would be Burlington here, cross street.
As far as that north end of Burlington, I think it's a matter of not if something's gonna happen there, it's a matter of when.
Oh, definitely.
And, hopefully it's none of us as family members that's involved in it, so.
Totally
Or
support it.
anybody,
I think,
I didn't mean it that way, but we need to consider the general public safety as well.
well, and I agree, I don't mean to interrupt.
You're
I
fine,
jumped
you're
in.
fine, I probably interrupted you, but
Uh,
I just wanted that to be known that I'm just, I mean, even if I'm headed north out of town, I know little old ladies trying to get into Dollar General, I mean, and then they got a semi blowing in on the right-hand lane that doesn't see that sign that says it merges, so,
mhm.
kind of scary.
And I've had that too. Now, one of the discussions that I will do is I'm gonna actually, not only change how much we'll contribute through this discussion that we've had, but I'm also gonna be, looking at that as far as sidewalks too. So I would like to modify that just a little bit on that intersection, to continue to improve the safety side of it.
Yeah, as I see some of they come from Apple Grove and even Burlington Place Apartments, there, a few individuals in wheelchairs are trying to wheel down that grass hill, and
Mhm.
I've brought that to the city's attention as well.
Well, I saw a motorized wheelchair going down the road,
Yeah,
Just
that's
turn in.
not very safe either.
So that one is one of the projects that we're gonna have. The other one is, we have the high-risk rural road, and that would be the application I'll be using up on Old Highway 50. We're waiting for the cores. I do have a presentation on that, something I had done about 2 years ago on Old Highway 50. I did not want to take any more of your time since I didn't schedule it. But on that particular one, it gave the details of it. Now, keeping in mind, we only spent less than $100,000 on the shoulder, because that was a maintenance project. The majority of the cost was actually the 20-foot of Old Highway 50 and the joints. And that was presented in that PowerPoint that was presented a couple years back, when we first started having some of the edge problems. But once again, I feel that that was going to be a good candidate for us for high-risk rural roads, narrow roads such as that, to have that modification done. The other one is, this is the presentation that Moni had put together from BG Consultants. This is the 6 bridges. We're going to also have these 6 bridges. That's a $1 million plus project. And so we're going to have those. Kenny also has the maps on the landfill. Are they in here?
Yeah.
Oh, right here. We also have cell number 4. This is money that you had set aside in capital improvements. I believe it's 600,000 or 800,000. I think it's around 800,000 is what we have for cell number 4. Now, cell number 4 is the top corner. That's the one that we're putting in this year. We will do the work ourselves, but there is a requirement for a third-party inspector, and the contractor that lays the liner will be basically a bid out on the contractor, because we cannot lay the liner onto it. So those are all. Now, once again, the third-party inspector is a requirement from KDHE. It is not something that we can do, but we can do the dirt work associated with it. Person says, well, you could hire it done, but I don't believe we could do it as efficient or as economically as we can do it. We have done all the rest of them. Our guys, we do have a pretty good team, excellent team that knows how to put down those liners. And what it is it's a clay liner that we're needing to put down that's so special on this stuff. And so what they're wanting to do is make sure that clay liner's impervious for any absorption of that leachate, so it would stop any of that leachate from reaching the groundwater. That's why it's so important for us. And so these are documents that Kenny's put together that we'll be submitting to KDHE for this permit. And so we'll be doing that this year as well. It's like I say, we're pretty busy. We have quite a few projects going on. So that concludes that report. I'll have you the book here next week. So mine would be, if you'd like to wait on the motion, I do have a motion in there. If you'd like to wait on that motion, because I don't have the books in front of you, feel free. If you like the projects that I have listed, we can move with the motion just however you feel you'd want to move on that particular one. The next one, though, the next motion that you have is one that's done every year. At the beginning of the year, what we're needing to do is actually get rock quotes from the rock quarries that we have available within our area. And so we contact each one of those and ask them for what they're going to sell us the rock at for our given year. This is the takeoff sheet that we provide to you, and then we ask you by motion basically that you accept it. So all you're doing here is allowing me to go ahead and basically get the bidding, go through the bidding process, and then get these numbers for you, and then they'll become basically our record for what we're going to be paying for our rock at our given year. Just to give you an idea, our road rock, Coffee County rock is what we call our Coffee County 1-inch road rock. Paxson Quarry, we paid $8.73 a ton, $8.40 for Waverly, and $8.40 for Melbourne here just in 2019. And these will all be made available to you as well. But we look at these. When we get the numbers come in, we'll also look at them, and you know, we'll ask questions. We'll ask questions as we go through it as well. But that's the second motion. The first motion I leave to you if you'd like to proceed with it if you'd like our plan, or if you'd like to wait until you get the book, I'd leave it up to you.
The second motion, all it is just, to waive the advertising, right? Because then you, after you get the deals, you will come back and we'll either have to approve prices or not, is that correct?
Well, and to approve basically, this motion does, one, it waives the advertisement, yes. That's correct.
Yeah, what it says.
And then it also says it waives the purchasing of the rock as needed. So as I get these numbers, then what you're doing is I just give you basically the bids. There's no motion to say, you can make a motion, you can cover it again. You can say, yeah, we go ahead and accept them. But you will be given this document to show that these would be the prices that we're paying for the rock. That would also be made available to Angie, so she has it as well. But that would be what would be allowed to pay off of. So at that point too, what that means is if they try to charge us more than that, we can't pay off of it. Just like what you're doing your vouchers, you're only paying for what this value would come in at. So that's what you're doing with that second motion.
You know, with a little bit of unknown on how many tons you're gonna need from each quarry, is there any way to document to a point and guarantee some of those quarries so many tons where you can get a lower value, lower cost?
I would say that we don't want to do that. There has been that in the past, and I think if you research the history onto it, you would find that it was not necessarily the best practice for our government. There has been discussion with quarries that would like to have that.
I'm sure there probably is. That way they know exactly how many tons they're gonna be shipping to this county and that county.
But what we find there is we can't, one is we're obligating something that we don't have the ability to obligate.
I think one of the things we discussed when we did that too was if we obligate Harshman's for so much, and then happens to be a lot of our projects are away in the other part of the county, then we got more in trucking than we did.
You're gonna have to project the tonnage based on the projected projects.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's gonna be a little bit of a hard deal.
And that's a tough one to do.
And I understand that.
Just like this year, I mean, it changed.
Yeah. Wayne has before us motion 2019-57 based on recommendation of the county engineer and approval of the county attorney move to waive the purchasing policy as to advertising for a good cause. Said cause being to obtain informal quotes from all local active rock quarries and to approve the purchase of rock as needed for 2020 from the following quarries. I don't know whether we need to read the whole thing over or not. Those quarries are Mid-States Materials, LLC, Nelson, Harshman, APAC, Kansas, Shears Division, and Harshman Knight Land, LLC, respectively, depending on the location of the rock is being used. The purchase of the rock for 2020 shall be paid from the Road and Bridge Fund.
Should that say after county attorney as to form? I mean, basically, all the county attorney is doing is proving that the motion is...
We can add that in there, Bob.
As the way it should be.
We can do that. You can add that in there if you'd like.
Because he's not approving the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With that correction, so noted. Entertain a motion to...
I'll make that motion.
Bob is so moved. Entertain a second.
Second.
Cody is second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carried 5-0. On the 2019-56, what's your pleasure on that?
Let's wait till we get the books and have a chance.
Okay. We just set tight till next week till we get the book and we'll review it at that time.
Thank you. I have a donation leave, so Donna, thank you.
Thank you.
The other one is I do have a voluntary resignation due to retirement effective February of 2020. So Wayne Houston is our...
February 28th.
Yes.
So Wayne's gonna be stepping down.
Wayne's retiring, yes.
What Wayne do?
Trucking. Yeah.
How long has Wayne been with the firm?
I should look those up.
No big deal. He's been here
20 plus years,
He's been
yes.
here for a while.
Yeah. I should look those up before I come in, but I don't have that. we do honor that. It's very important to us, because there is a lot of experience that walks out the door when folks retire. And so we do honor that. We actually have a plaque, a photo and such as that. We acknowledge how many years of service that they have been with the department. We do actually have a retirement and I assume you've seen it, but we do have a retirement that's here, tomorrow, for Stan Butterfield. And so, we do take that very serious. I apologize for not having that, for you.
And you need to so you'll know on that, we're doing year end, we may not be done by 3 o'clock.
Year end tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
We as commission are. So.
Okay. So how does that affect me?
Well, his retirement's from 1 to 3. I just want you to be aware that we may not be there because we're doing
I got you.
year end.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I wanted to make that aware.
Okay.
If we don't show up.
I didn't make that connection.
Make that
I
aware,
was thinking
make that aware to Stan. That's
I was
why
already
we're not
budget.
there.
I will pass that on.
Yes.
I definitely will pass
So
that
we
on.
will try to be there.
It sounds like you need to be around in case we've got a question for you.
Yeah,
I
and we made the decision this morning that
can do that. That's where you were going.
yeah, none of the employees can leave until the commission sign off.
Yeah. See, I thought that's where you were going on that one.
Have you
No, I
already
would
got
just-
notice out on that, Angie?
Wanted to make Stan aware if we didn't show up, that was why, not to
But Stan can go, can he? I mean, he can leave after his party, right?
Yeah,
What are we gonna do today?
Wait, just a minute.
Can't fire him.
Hey, just want to clarify this.
Inducting 30 minutes?
Yeah.
No.
That's all you have for us today, Wayne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, appreciate you coming in.
All right, thank you.
Wish you a happy new year. I did, have Donna visit with, Wade, and we've temporarily got him set up at 10:40. So we'll go ahead and take a short break.
Okay. I guess we'll bring in our basket. I forgot to get
I got it.
And
You got it
for
already,
those that
thank
want
you.
some snacks, Donna's brought in some cheese and sausage and crackers over here.
Bless you.
All right, thank you.
Didn't make cinnamon rolls.
And you got a thumb drive. So,
Information.
some of it was presented, and I think I put Old 50 on there too.
I do got one.
The very beginning, we were talking, you had a summary of stuff from Florida notes and sheet of paper.
Yes.
you read them.
Yeah.
You can have a copy of it.
I can have you take a picture of it real quick. Can you move it right there? Yeah, the last one.
Or maybe you should just make a copy
Yeah,
for me
I
real
can do
quick.
that. I can do that. Yeah, just that top
Might
page.
be easier to access later.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yes, thank you.
Behave yourself tomorrow evening,
I will.
Mark. I was talking to Mark.
Oh, you're talking to
I
Mark,
knew you
okay, you're
would.
looking at me, okay.
Well, I knew you would, I was looking.
Well, I'll get my black-eyed peas.
Keep safe.
I need to eat a lot of black eyed peas.
A lot of stuff.
Always packing.
How you doing, Mark?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Did you want one of these, Mark, just for, look at when I go over everything?
Sure. Just a preliminary
Yeah.
view of tomorrow.
And it may change, but.
Thank you. Now I need to sign that off.
There you go, Fred. It's a fool, stop seeing that thing.
Hey, mine's the same.
Pardon?
Payroll is the same every month.
Did you bring in payroll and stuff already?
Yeah. I just didn't wanna get it forgotten.
Where's the other one?
Anything you deserve for Christmas?
More than I deserved, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Apparently you're having a big auction in your neighborhood next Saturday. Evans,
Oh, I hadn't heard when, somebody said they might be.
you have a lot of traffic around there probably.
One year in January. And, it was cold,
Well, we
snow
saw
there, but the grass was green.
bringing trailer loads of stuff in.
Yeah, someone else consigned some stuff onto theirs, with their stuff. I saw a flyer yesterday and it looked like somebody consigned it onto it.
So I handed out a preliminary,
I'm sorry.
these are preliminary transfers. I'm not gonna say they're set in stone yet, but I kinda wanted to give you an overview. If you see anything you wanna change or move numbers somewhere.
I don't know whether it'd be any good to look at what we did last year to get a comparison with what we're looking at.
Well, not really, because last year, I think we put everything in community
We
improvement.
took what, yeah,
And some in capital, or equipment reserve and some in capital improvement. But, I tried to, so here was my thought process, and you can take it or leave it or change it, whatever, but with not knowing what's gonna go on with the jail, if there's gonna be any kind of building or whatever, I figured we should kind of build up capital improvement.
for capital outlay, you're putting $1.25 million in it, which gets it up, you know, about $5 million.
Right. And then we've got enough to cover the capital improvement plan right now, out 5 years. So that's well funded. And then community improvement, I felt like we were pretty good right there. I didn't see any need to add anything when we've got other areas to add. Equipment reserve, that specifically was related to certain departments that wanted the money there for vehicles and various things like that. The fiber optic system construction fund, I didn't think we need to really put any money in that since our fiber is pretty well done. We've got a little bit in that reserve in case something comes up like the Leroy fire stuff did. GIS, that's strictly from appraiser, to keep that fund funded. The risk management is where I put the bulk of everything to try to build it up, to get it closer to that 10 million. And so it's not quite there, but I know by next year it will be. Solid waste closure care, oh, I see an error there. I got a negative number, that needs to be a positive number. But anyway, that'll put it up to 1.2 roughly. And then special highway improvement, that's where Wayne is keeping that funded for any special projects he has there. And then tech office reserve, Brad tries to keep that built up for any technology. So if you, in reviewing that, if there's anything you see you want to raise something else higher or reduce anything, I need to know.
Anybody have any suggestions, changes, discussion? I guess I don't remember what we did a year ago. Angie, do we adopt these?
We'll do it tomorrow, because
We just wait until tomorrow to make sure if there's any final changes?
This is still just preliminary,
Okay,
but I wanted to present this to you today,
yeah.
so you could tell me if you don't want risk management to be that much, you want, something else to be more. I just wanted to kind of,
Well, some of this year we're projecting in the future for what our future needs, and we've got some, even though we got some ideas, we've also got a lot of unknowns.
right. And so that's kind of where I was trying to think ahead for the county. And
Anybody got any other thoughts? Want to suggest to Angie to do something different?
if you think of something overnight, we can still change tomorrow, but,
I don't hear anything, Angie, so I guess we'll proceed with this and
I'll
make
keep
some,
working on it
make some
today
temporary adjustments tomorrow if we need to.
and make sure that everything's looking good before I. Yeah.
Okay,
Angie, I think there was a little bit of money left in county counselor. And I gave those numbers to Wade to look at.
Yeah, and, I think his attorney was gonna be a little short, because when it was budgeted previously, he wasn't here then, and so I was gonna leave that to offset that in general, so.
anything else? If not, we set a temporary time up to give Wade a call at 10:40, and that's about where we're at, so.
Also, text him and tell him this is ready, and we'll be calling
All right,
him.
okay. Donna's gonna send him a message and let him know that we're ready for executive session. While we got a moment or two, in correspondence this morning, on behalf of the Neosho Lodge and on behalf of the SCC Veterans Honor Flight, we had a three-page letter in there plus a picture of his presentation, and over the last 2 days, we have sent out and/or hand-delivered 95 thank you notes for contributors to the Veterans Honor Flight program at SCC. And I know I'm going to Allen County and Woodson County and Anderson County and Lyon County here in the next 2 or 3 days to do the hand deliveries of those that I felt like need to be done special. So, on behalf of the Veterans Honor Flight Program, a special thank you for the commission for continuing to be a player in this program. The next flight in April is gonna be over 500 veterans gonna fly out of SCC. And applications are coming in, 3 to 4 applications a week now. Jeff's got 125 applications on hand. So the November flight they're gonna take 62 veterans at one time. Try to catch up a little bit. So, it's a great program, just takes quite a bit of funding to make it happen. The support that we've had from, and that SCC has from 3 or 4 adjoining counties, from sheriffs, county attorneys, city, we've had some great support from cities. But we'll hand deliver all those type of contributions. Wow, there's a boatload of vouchers today. I'm not sure what time we'll get done with our regular agenda, but what's everybody's thoughts on dinner? With the vouchers we're seeing here from the courthouse and plus the vouchers from Road and Bridge, we're gonna be here for a while, so what's everybody's? We do have cheese and crackers back here and sausage. What do you want to do for dinner?
It matters not to me. I've got a protein bar back here.
You ready?
Yep.
Hey Wade, this is Donna, we're in the commissioner's room.
Good morning to all.
Morning, Wade. What have you got for us and what do we need to be doing, Wade?
I need to have someone make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing ongoing litigation for matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client privilege exception to COMA, and I don't have that specific section of the statute, but it's the same one I've cited previously, and it would be including myself by phone, the commissioners, and the treasurer if she's in the commission room.
Karen's here, Wade.
Okay, I'd request she would be a part of it as well.
How long?
I'm gonna say 15
Okay, Angie,
got it.
Angie's got this all recorded. Entertain a motion. Fred is so
I'll make that
moved.
motion.
I'll second.
Tom is so second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. We'll go in at 10:46, come out at 11:01.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
We're in.
Get that on.
You can get that on the World Wide Web.
Wade, I just made an error and didn't get us recorded.
Oh,
Reread the
Okay.
motion.
Yeah, we'll just reread.
Reread the motion.
Can we just reread the motion and revote?
yep, you gotta do it in an open
Okay.
format,
Would
and
you
now
please?
that we're on the World Wide Web, gotta do it over.
Okay.
Move to direct the chairman to sign the settlement agreement and release between Laura Hawkins and Coffee County, Kansas, the Board of County Commissioners of Coffee County, Kansas, Christopher Phelan, Karen Maley, Brenda Cherry, and Heidi Harris. The board chairman is signing this agreement, however, the document will not take full effect until signed by all remaining parties. And who will?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Cody is so moved.
And I second.
Fred is second. Any discussion?
Do we need it to be known the reasons why we are agreeing to this?
Not till everybody signed it.
Okay. I concur with that now.
Any other discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Wade, we're done, as far as I know, with the agenda at hand. Do you have anything for roundtable?
I just wanna mention that once that settlement agreement has been approved and, signed by all parties, then, I mean, it's subject to disclosure upon a valid request. So, I mean, if anybody wants to know what that document contains once it's approved, then I think someone can make that request, just in case that question gets asked. As far as roundtable, I don't necessarily have anything, I just wanna plant some seeds for now. To begin the new year, what I wanna plant some seeds about is I'm gonna need to have a conversation with the board about the potential need for additional, assistance in my office, and there's a variety of reasons, but, I think at this point, just to plant a seed that the need does exist, and, I'd encourage any of the commissioners to speak with the girls in the county attorney's office about what's occurred over the last year and, how that's impacted them and potentially different than years past. So, it's something that's important, and I don't wanna, I'll leave it at that for right now. The second part of the seed I wanna plant is victims who come into the prosecutor's office should have a place where they can go, i.e. a conference room, and not have to sit out in the middle of an office where there's traffic of people coming in and out, and I'm not sure if the current format of the county attorney's office meets that particular need. It's not a additional staff member, in the future, I think that's something that needs to be looked into. And I say that because we'll use a victim of a sexual assault who has to come in and sit, and as they're waiting to potentially testify or come in and talk about something that is one of the most intrusive things that can happen to a person, and they're just sitting amongst everybody else in an office as traffic comes in and out. I don't think that's fair to that particular victim, and they're not really called victims, they're called survivors. So the survivor needs to have the opportunity to be in a place or location where they can sit and not feel other stressors that are going on about them or around them. So that's all I have for today. It's just to plant some seeds, and at a later point in time, next year, next month, I'll probably bring this back up to have maybe a more in-depth conversation.
I think you brought a little bit of it up at a meeting here a week or two ago, and then you and I talked about a little bit here in the last 10 days also. So we fully understand, the workload has become heavier and heavier this last 12 months than what it had. So those are probably two issues, two subjects that we'll need to evaluate here the first part of January, Wade.
Okay. Well, I'm just planting seeds for now. That's all I'm doing. I'm not asking for anything, and I don't want anything for me. It's for the people that work with me and work for me. It's important to me that they have the help and assistance that they need, and I'm fine. I'm doing okay.
Anybody got any questions or comments for Wade while he's still on the phone?
No.
If not, Wade, I want to wish you a happy new year, and we'll look forward to seeing you here in January.
Yep, and everybody be safe. Have a happy new year. And this is, I guess my last thing I'll say is, go blue.
Hey, Wade, I have one question. Are you sitting in a parking lot this time? Are you sitting in a parking lot talking today?
I am sitting in a parking lot. I just bought some laundry detergent. And
Well, I think we found office space for you then.
Car.
parking lot?
Yeah, your car in the parking lot, so. Have a good new year.
It's quiet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody take care and be safe.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Hit the button, Tom. There you go.
We're ready for vouchers, I guess. We've already done roundtable, but we can do that at the end of the voucher session. We are at 11:15, and nobody made any response on dinner. It don't make any difference to me. I don't have to eat. But if you want to have Donna run something down, what's your pleasure?
Hey, like my wife, I can make a meal out of anywhere, so.
This is the time of year when I work on peanut clusters pretty hard and a few other things I don't need, so I can even get by.
I've eaten enough in the last week. I need to miss a meal, so.
Fred,
I'm good.
Tom, Bob,
From there to me.
well, we got some
Oh, yeah.
snacks back here.
Haven't weighed in yet.
Haven't weighed in. I've been weighing myself in, and it's not good.
Yeah, we'll just keep on plugging away until somebody hollers.
Yeah, how's that? There's a vending machine out there.
Oh, I agree with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go call
Are you
Wade,
mowing?
yeah, that, Wade told me to have Lori have her on.
Okay,
I need to go call him about something on here that he pointed out for me to make a change on, but it's in PDF format, so I can't make the change, so I'm gonna have to see if he can make it and then send it back to me.
so Wade's already, they're talking about putting it on one page.
Well, this is what we were talking about. He asked me to make this change where we move this line down to the next page,
Yeah,
but it's in PDF format and I can't do
yeah,
that.
and he said if it can't be done, that's acceptable.
Okay, okay, he did say that then?
Yeah,
Okay.
you won't have to worry about it.
Okay,
He said that's not an issue if it can't be done easily.
okay.
Angie, you know when we're doing checks and vouchers, we need to do checks and vouchers next month or two?
Oh, yeah, we can look at that. January, probably the 29th.
Okay.
February 26th. March,
30.
we could try to do it the 30th. That's one day before, but I think we could maybe make it happen. And then April, probably the 28th.
For some reason, February 26th in bold.
Hmm?
I see February 26th had bold.
It's Ash Wednesday.
You got anything going on that day?
No, I'm not doing any ashes.
I'm gonna stop there for now.
I just kind of, next month or two, curious. I actually looked ahead on the calendar, I knew that was me.
Is that our own folder?
Pardon?
Folder says payroll, but
It's all, okay, I didn't stick the payroll back in there.
Okay, but there's
That's,
Trust Point Insurance, Coffee County Hospital,
There's,
Alexander, Hoover's, Caldwell Auto Parts, Rotary Club. I would,
That's probably our report.
yeah, but should it be with payroll?
in the payroll, that folder.
Doing any checks in it, but these are payroll checks here, and these are miscellaneous checks, like self-insurance and hospital, or retirement
There's
solutions.
payroll vouchers right there.
This right here is all in the blue folder.
Yeah, whatever.
We can just leave it out and put it on top.
Okay, there should be two of them. There was one tax abatement, but that may have been what I signed over
Yeah.
to Randy.
A tax abatement?
I signed one of them earlier, I think.
Oh.
Okay, these are payroll checks here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But these aren't.
Are they special issues?
I don't know. These are the payroll checks, it says, in here that says payroll checks.
No, these are payroll.
Those are payroll?
Yeah, that's the, withholding.
Oh, okay. I see. So these all do go together.
No. No, I mean, that's got credit cards and commodities and bills and all kinds of other stuff in it.
That's just gonna be the main report that goes with the
It'll be with the,
regular bill.
This is a card, Sears credit card here for $7,000,
Okay.
but it was laying by itself, so.
Did you still have that report or no?
Sorry?
Did you still have that report? Oh, it's up there, okay, yeah.
Got a basket over here somewhere.
Are you ready for that, Fred?
Well, yeah, pretty quick, 'cause it'll be coming my way.
It's gonna be full when you get done with it.
I believe so.
Jeff get paid out of, solid waste also?
Yes.
How come it's not in this book?
Are you under the right section?
Solid waste.
I don't have a calculator handy, do you?
And that's just all the checks, and that's the vouchers for those checks.
Oh, okay.
The reason I ask that, because on Wayne's presentation, he had such a large percentage of salaries on solid waste. I thought part of that's probably Jeff's, but I don't see it in the book.
Oh, you know why? Because he's probably getting a paper check. This is direct deposit register. You have the other check register?
They're in one of those two books right
Okay, so
here.
it's on that one, probably.
He gets a paper check from one and direct
Possibly.
deposit from the other.
Well, I'm assuming this is direct deposit register. Okay, well, I'll go see. Hold up just a minute. I'll take both of those. There's nothing there. The salary is 70-some thousand.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Quite come out right. That's the beginning of all this stuff.
Pull in my report. Look at something there. I'll be right back.
Lost vouchers.
3 of them.
They're all there for free.
Well, there's, lost receipt forms for some.
Lost receipts, not bad.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, but.
Left you Target plastic bag.
lunch, barbecue for lunch. Going to get those bags, and then,
Holiday bags, gift bags for Christmas parade. This Billy Sims, that's Emporium. Not as very good.
that's true.
Okay, so this report is only giving you net pay. It's not giving you the total, and it doesn't break it down like that. It basically puts you under the department you're paid the most from. So, but like here it says,
Okay, so how much is coming from,
that's this breakdown on gross right there.
this is from road bridge and this is from
Yes.
solid waste?
Yes,
Okay,
those are the two different department numbers, or fund numbers. And so when it puts on this report, it just gives you the net pay.
Three missing receipts. They from the same place.
No, 2 from one from another.
But these last two credit cards are all right.
So that's when it,
all right, thank you.
Already been around that.
I'm sorry?
They're gonna get out of the paycheck. They're losing their receipts.
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask them who you are.
Did you not?
No, because coming from Wichita, you can't get on where you get off. On Kellogg, on construction,
Oh, okay,
that's why.
okay. Just curious, I just,
Yeah, that 3 miles cost you a quarter. Yeah, because when you're coming back north, the detour routes you to.
one's entry plaza at 53 and the other's 50.
Yeah.
Anybody watch Seahawks football last night?
Watched quite a bit of it.
They missed winning the game by that much.
I'm sorry?
They missed winning the game by that much.
Well,
They got right to the goal line.
yeah, missed it by
Fourth
an
down,
inch or two or three.
and that was all it was.
But you know, the thing that disturbs me, when you get a coach there that's making $5-6 million a year, and quarterback making 20, their clock management, taking the delay of game, Fred, cost them that ball game.
Yeah, it did.
Totally, clock management has affected Seattle all the time, seems like.
That was their downfall, all right.
Angie, here's the resolution.
Okay.
To plug these into.
Okay.
Yeah, the officiating in NFL football anymore, it's got to the point where the officials, they don't know what to call, when to call, because everything gets reviewed at New York, or so much of it does.
Yeah.
The interpretation of the rules is totally unreal.
They are donating his, let's see, to the Sheridan.
That's a lot of hours.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Karen?
I was just getting ready to sign the checks, and I'm just asking for, an explanation. Conservation District has a fund, and they receive a budgeted amount on their fund, and they're taxed with a levy. But then we have a separate check going to them out of general for $45,000,
That's their budget. This one, we budget for that every year.
so they get two budgets?
Yes. One is an allocation and the other is just a budget from the general fund.
Okay, all right, I just didn't understand.
And you said that's a drainage district?
No,
Conservation District?
Or, okay, conservation district.
It's a cost share that they do.
Okay, I just thought it was unusual because they have their own fund, why we were
I
doing
couldn't
something in
answer it,
general,
so-
so, all right, thank you.
other part to this. Commodities. Tired of their health, two latches, what was this? This and what was that?
Oil change, repair, rotate, what else?
We have the receipt here for the two flat repairs, but we don't have any receipts for the other amounts of money.
Oh, she must have missed those or something. Should have just had them to interim. Are they on that one, Cody?
No, this is different.
Okay, that's not bar tire. Okay.
Lumberyard.
Let me see here.
Fell off somewhere. Didn't get sticking.
I seem to have an odd number in car wash.
Well, it's probably a discounted rate. So it may be a $10 wash and we get X% off. So then it comes out fifty.
Curious.
Yeah. Or it may be they tagged to make round dollar amounts, and then since we don't charge tax, then
I'm just curious what the others were for.
Yeah, she was just grabbing them in the file. That happens sometimes.
Where's Keith Finley live? Says here 11 East 2nd Street, Garnett, Kansas. He a jailer, he a cop, or what's Keith
Who is
Finley?
he?
Keith Finley.
think he might be a sheriff's officer.
So they don't have to live in the county then to be,
I don't know.
sent my gift certificate this weekend that you guys
You
gave
did?
me. Yeah.
Didn't take long to spend it though, did it?
No, but it was something I really wanted, so. Thank you.
We appreciate what you do for us.
Need some coffee, Tom?
No.
Need some more meat and cheese?
I may.
I guess if they don't, okay, we'll pull one or two out.
Yep, we can do that.
Excuse me.
You guys ever notice Evergy's, commercials on TV?
Oh, so what, commercial?
Evergy?
Yep,
Which-
yep.
It's all about wind. It's nothing to do with nuclear or anything, or the coal plant. It's all about wind.
Marketing.
Angie, Bob's got, chambers set up at 10:10. If we move Wayne to the back end of our meetings, if we don't have anybody else fill in, we might wanna visit with them, move them up too.
Okay, I can do that.
If, we just see how many department heads come in or.
Well, I just know sometimes we got people coming in and set for a certain time, and if he's above them, then all at once he wants to take an hour to do a presentation, which I don't mind that he does that, but it's just,
It does push the whole program back.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think Wayne understands that. And then we've asked Wayne, we've delayed him probably 5 or 6 times during the year too.
yeah, that's true.
And so I think it's best if we
But
just,
I would say again, the reason he's got moved up is because he requested to
he
be moved up.
requested it.
Because he used to be at the end of the meeting.
But just out of respect for others, it's supposed to be there at a certain time.
Yeah, last week, we got off 45 minutes to 50, and then we did finally catch up within about 25, 30 minutes
Yeah.
real quick.
But like today,
It does make it a little hard for Angie to set times when there's
Yeah.
some unknowns.
I'm sure if he said, hey,
But,
I need an
uh,
hour, then she would probably allow an hour, but.
Normally Wayne takes a little longer,
Yeah.
what he's set up for.
Which is understandable.
And we gained 20 minutes of this morning real quick on the insurance part of it. And that's a little bit of an unknown discussion, although most of the time it probably won't take 25 minutes, but we can always get a hold of Wayne and bring him in if we get to running early.
I thought, he bought that one, so his employees would have something to do to me.
Yeah, but it's broke down. Evidently.
Here it says due to the county sheriff vehicle. What's a one-piece serving since anything? Oh, serving since whatever, that makes sense. I was thinking table
Food
service.
service,
Yeah.
years of service.
That's what I was thinking.
Dawn, Lori leaves at 12:30 to go to lunch,
Okay.
so if you wanna go in there and sign that document, is that okay?
Okay. That almost should have to come out of somebody's pocket instead of passing everybody that. That's stupid, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's- That's just not right.
Well, it don't have to be signed.
We've got to pay the state, Jim.
Pardon me?
It's not the state, it's the Turnpike.
Turnpike
Well, I
Authority.
know.
I mean, it's not the Turnpike Authority's fault. It says, Tom, if you're out driving a county vehicle and you get a ticket, county will pay it. Makes you feel nasty.
Well, I think that in order to prevent that from happening, maybe we should get the K tags put on those vehicles that are gonna be going on the interstate.
Yeah, they don't cost anything, they're pretty cheap.
That's how they're
They-
free. and
They're
they
free
just bill
to
you.
get them,
Yeah.
and then they bill you for, and if it's on a county vehicle, then anytime you go,
You might be able to put on most of the county vehicles, and I mean,
Yeah.
we need them on the road big, all the sheriff ought to have them, and it ought to be on all
the
the,
county, yeah,
Yeah.
vehicles.
Mhm.
So if you want me to do that and get that set up,
It makes,
Yeah, I got them on my construction vehicles, so.
makes sense, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't cost to
prevent
have
that.
it if you never go through.
Yeah.
So. And I think they'll charge it to I think you have to put a credit card in
Yes,
though,
you do,
but,
on file.
yeah.
But, put all the
Yeah.
sheriff's on one card, and
Yeah.
we're still Campbell line, either way.
On that shirt. Sheriff wasn't commenting on it.
I can get it faxed out.
Nope, not yet. Did you
You didn't watch the
see
Clemson, Ohio game,
anything?
did you?
Talk to Lindsay about that.
Yes.
Did you see those calls on that game?
Yeah. I meant to talk to her Monday, didn't get done.
But
There was two calls that really,
Notes or?
I'll go down and talk to her afterwards.
against Ohio that maybe shouldn't have been called.
Arden set up to go.
we didn't know how.
That's what she
Sure,
said.
Arden had an application, Arden got an application
Yes.
2 weeks ago.
And last-
I couldn't
And he
remember.
set up to go on
Last 2
the
minutes.
November flight.
I knew it was close.
So she probably don't know that, and Arden may not know either.
Well, actually,
Brian, her,
That's.
a lot of people agree that Clemson may
They're not gonna
catch,
do that.
and that.
They talked to Brunson School here
Because
3 or 4 years
fumble.
after it started. Of course, that was under a different
But it's-
superintendent,
Mm-hmm.
but at that time, the superintendent of schools didn't want to have nothing to do with
They
it.
said he didn't have to
That's just-
maintain control, therefore it was an incomplete pass.
But with Eric now, that may change,
A
but
lot of people thought he had
as long as they
control, and it should
continue
have
to raise
been
the money
fumbled.
locally, that
Ohio
probably
should have had a
change.
touchdown,
Right.
to it, but that
Mm.
didn't happen, and then they
But I don't remember who the superintendent was there, 'cause I asked
disqualified that one kid for
her
targeting
asking
him.
Jeff about
Yeah, I
that.
saw that.
That was
And he
iffy.
said Superintendent Castle talked to Brunson School.
A lot of that targeting that they call can't be helped. I mean,
I don't think they ever expected.
They
the funds
already
to be
made the
raised
commitment.
legally,
Right.
you can't stop
Plus-
midway.
Plus outside, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they expected the funds to get raised like
Yeah.
they have.
Right.
And that's like Red Southern service. See,
I
Red
watched
Southern
3 games
service,
yesterday,
those
and
funds
kind of
go
get to
on
running
fine.
together.
There's quite a few memorials go to the art flag.
I only watched one yesterday.
Probably
that was a change.
I didn't realize that. That's pretty awesome.
Quite a bit of funds raised to the memorial.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday was,
So Jeff and I, we went through them for you 6-8 months ago. We
College
stopped.
day. and-
college day for me,
One family had lost a
as
veteran.
well as New
He
Year's Day
picked up
will
a
be.
check for almost $3,000.
Great.
I bet
Wait.
Southern- I bet
Hoping
he-
for a good Michigan outcome against Alabama, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So there's quite a bit of funding coming for memorials. The American Legion American Legion out of Moran, they've got bingo, they're giving 5,000 every year now.
That's a good deal.
They've had good support from the Moran Legion. How many people's going to the website every day, or every week to look?
Going to,
The website to look at our
Oh.
meetings?
I don't know. Let me see if I can tell.
Last count was 60-something,
Last week.
well, the last one I heard,
That's a
right.
question.
What are we doing with that check? Cause it doesn't go anywhere until everything else is signed, but then it has to go within
Yeah, I
7
did
days.
have signed check, that check needs to stay in our hands until everything's fully. So I need to have Angie pull that out.
Right, but within 7 days of everything being signed, it has to get to her.
We need to make sure.
No, that check is supposed to get to them this year.
No,
That's what Wade said. This
I
check.
know that's what Wade said. But in the settlement agreement, That's not what it said.
You want me to?
We probably need to get away.
Ask Wade. Wade.
That was the deal
Either
for
way.
it being done last week.
But it can't be-
That had to be, they wanted that this year.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it too.
But we can't
then-
issue it until we get signatures on all the documents.
Yes, we can.
Says not less than 7 days after full execution of this settlement agreement and release, defendants shall cause to be paid by or on behalf of defendants the sum of $65,000 payable as follows.
We probably really shouldn't be reading that, Bill.
No.
Okay.
We probably need to
Just
talk to Wade. We need to talk to Wade because like Tom and I have different understandings of what that.
No, I agree.
We have different understandings of what Wade, or Cody does.
Yeah.
What,
But he told us today we don't.
I don't think it had anything to do with that. I'm gonna set that out just, so.
Then the last thing that we had executive session over today kind of led us to believe the other direction as well, so.
But that was one of the major issues right there, and that really wasn't a
Well,
question.
we can't talk about it until after everything is signed, but it didn't say nothing about that.
So, I think we probably need to get hold of Wade.
Probably need to call Wade.
Because I think that was a pretty valuable piece of information that needed to be done.
You wanna go
We
in
can
my
just wait till
office?
Cody gets.
You wanna go in my office and you and I call him, or do you
You'll
wanna
need
do
to-
it in
You'll need to
executive
talk to
session?
all of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, to me it needs to be all, just wait till Cody gets back, no, see if we can run Wade down. That shouldn't be over a 5-minute session.
No.
With everybody being here, we'll just go ahead, we don't need to wait till Angie gets back. Cause she'll probably need to,
We can call him, get on.
we can still call him.
You can get him on the phone.
Yeah, still get him on the line.
Need to go into executive session for it?
We got it. Tom and I don't agree with you.
Well, I'm not saying I don't agree, because
we-
what was wrote today would lead me to believe that, yes, we can wait, but as of our last meeting, it was supposed to be today, yes. So I'm in limbo.
Either way, all I'm concerned with is the check does not leave the courthouse until we have the settlement agreement signed by all parties. I don't care what day it is.
And that's kind of what that read.
Yeah, but I mean, the physical check itself.
Right.
But we can't talk about it until it's totally signed by every party.
I think we ought to clarify it,
Yeah.
because we've actually been told two things. And it won't hurt to do that.
Either way.
It won't hurt to ask.
It won't hurt to
Yeah.
ask. I mean, and I agree with you.
No matter what, all everything's
So-
signed, it doesn't change.
I texted him to make sure he can call.
Ask him what parking lot he's in now.
Seems to be a lot parking lots of mine, doesn't it?
Seems like he's always in the parking lot.
Probably a lot of them in Detroit.
Yeah.
I was trying to get that place closed out.
You got road and bridge ready?
Yeah.
You ready for it? Beyond ready for it.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah, That won't take too long, we'll get you home before dark.
No, I ain't worried about getting home, I just didn't want anybody,
I'm worried about getting home before dark.
you know, well, you can't see at night, or?
Do we need to make him aware, before you on the phone, make him aware of what the
I'm
question
starting to
is?
get hungry, but
We can ask him, and I'll get him on the phone. I mean,
Or- Yeah, we're gonna ask him outside. So the goodies are about all gone, guys. We'll do
I'm
cheese.
good.
Here's your next one.
Thank you, sir.
There's almost 100 checks on the road and bridge. There'll probably be a lot of them will be boot reimbursement.
take a quick break.
So this is the last of, that's the start.
Yeah, that's the start of road and bridge.
Okay, he's ready.
Bob's
Oh, I
not
guess
here.
Bob's-
Oh, he's still calling.
Well, just make them telephone call or.
If you wanna help, tell us whether we need to or not.
Hello, this is Wade.
Hey Wade, it's Dawn in the commission room.
Yep.
Okay, so commissioners are wanting to visit with you about another executive session.
Okay.
Probably be basically the same thing the last one was about, would probably be the title for it. Cause it's kind of follow up on some of that.
So this is a request to go into executive session to discuss ongoing litigation for matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client privilege, under the exception under COMA, the one that I cite on a regular basis. Is that my understanding?
Right, and it would just be with you and the commissioners this time.
Okay.
5 minutes is probably all we need.
Okay.
Did you get that, Angie?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Bob has made the motion to go into executive session for 5 minutes with county council and the commission. Entertain a second.
Second.
All, Thomas second, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 5-0. We're going at 12:37, come out at 12:42.
Shut that off.
I can't tell.
Is it late? I don't know. Okay.
Had it on.
We're in.
Okay, we're in, Wade. The question is, Cody,
To wait till you do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, let me know if you need anything else.
All right, you take care of it just before you.
I'm sorry.
I took care of it before you pushed the button. That's, yeah, okay.
A couple more.
Yeah, I've got a few more here. I will leave them right here. Thank you.
That's unplugged right now,
Oh,
because we weren't sure if it was running or
Oh,
not.
okay.
We thought it was.
oh, I think I might have forgotten too, so I'm glad you did, yeah.
Oh, about that.
That's okay. It happens.
Mhm. Well, maybe not this, probably my third or something. Yeah.
So policy reads.
That for that. That, yeah, that's it. Okay, this is all road and bridge. So we're doing boots. Cell phones. we talked there a week or two or three ago about, Russell came in about the, new radios and all the money it's gonna cost us. I'm wondering, do we really need to be buying all these radios for road and bridge? We're paying everybody for use of their cell phones. So are we just sticking these radios in the truck and nobody using them?
That's a question I don't have an answer for.
Well, I remember.
I never heard anything about road and bridge, I guess. I mean, I
Oh,
heard
yeah,
about-
they got to buy a lot of radios, but I remember a few years ago, one of the deals was that Wayne issued that, he was gonna have the road grader operators and road graders and everybody call in on their radios in the morning so they would know what time they started working and everybody was gonna report on the radios. And then all that went away and we
Some
started.
do, some don't.
We started paying everybody for use of cell phones. So do we really need the radios? I guess these things to think about. Them suckers, what, like $2,500 a piece, so.
Well, I know when talking to Randall and Russell, I didn't hear anything about road and bridge. I heard about, volunteer firemen, fire department, fire trucks, dispatch,
Oh,
emergency management.
The overall package would include road and bridge.
Did it? Oh.
Yeah.
Give them all our old radios.
Yeah.
Wonder how many trucks or vehicles they got, 25 or 30 vehicles that have radios in?
I
Well, no, I don't think
suppose every one of
Yeah, all right.
the road and bridges radios, trucks, vehicles would have radio in it.
Including tractors and graders?
Great, yeah, I know the graders for sure. But the guys don't like using them because other people can hear what they say.
What, Bob? I'm sorry.
I said, I'll let you look at those and
These?
scrutinize them.
You don't have anything to say? Assume it's all part of the wellness there. It's all part of your wellness.
I just see where the cards go.
Mm-hmm.
$100 work disappeared. No, that money doesn't come out of wellness, that comes out of road and bridge. That doesn't come out of wellness money.
Oh, okay. I just assumed it was part of it.
They do their own little program.
Oh, okay. Well, the only other thing I think I'd like to consider for next year would be putting a cap on it. I think I still have it, what Wade gave me is what the state has for allowance for per meal. I mean, 'cause right here I'm looking at a deal that somebody wants compensated $1 because the meal ticket they turned in should have been 20, and they only put in for 19, so they want their other $1. I mean, no offense, but it's an individual making a pretty hefty salary is concerned about losing $1. So, I mean, maybe we ought to just put a cap on it.
They're the one that turned the meal ticket in the first time.
Exactly, so.
Costs more to process that $1 than $1.
Exactly. Nothing against the individual, nothing against that, it's just, again, I say, maybe we ought to put a cap on it. Food for thought.
them. And we're not too far been done. Or the grants are still.
So all these, go ahead, fine.
Are you available?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Perfect.
Oh,
Got a question on that.
okay. Did you have a question, Tom?
Yeah, so all the people that contract labor, maybe I've asked this before, insurance-wise, I mean, some of them are cleaning individuals, some of them are mowers, I mean, the mowing ones especially, I mean, do they have an insurance in
Our
place?
insurance covers temporary summer help or whatever.
Well,
As an
not on
employee,
pay-
but as a contractor.
as a contractor, as a sub, like, this individual here is contract labor. I'm assuming if it's not on payroll, there's no workman's comp, there's no,
Right.
nothing. So does this individual have their own insurance if they get hurt on doing their job on our property, are they still liable?
I'd have to check into that.
Because I know when I do contract labor,
Yeah, we have to have a certificate of insurance.
yeah, for my
Right.
subcontractors, I mean, I know it's a smaller scale, if you will, but
Right.
still, I mean, that's some exposure, and our insurance, you know, has gone up $56,000, so in order to
Yeah.
not let
I
that
can
happen.
check on that and make sure.
You know, I mean, I'm gonna cover the mowers, you know, cleaning people, I mean, all of it, I mean, so where's our exposure lie on that, I
Yeah.
guess?
Okay, I will check on that.
When a contractor comes in like that, is there a paper that they sign off on?
Even,
I don't think we have.
That's like at
for-
the Leroy Co-op, not any contractor, anybody comes on job site, they're gonna sign a document that verifies that they've got this, and this, and this in place.
even your air conditioning people that come work on your air
We have
conditioners, the
that,
plumbers.
yeah, we get
I
Plumber.
certificate of insurance.
can't give you
from-
exact all the details, because that's all changed since I've been out there in '01.
Yeah, anytime we do a project, we always get a certificate of insurance, but when you're talking like a contracted cleaning person.
I know it's
or-
small scale, but
Right,
it's still
yeah.
some
Still,
exposure
it
in
is,
your
yeah.
insurance.
Exposure isn't any smaller.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not, if something happens.
Yeah, I will check on that.
Probably ought to check, probably would. You know, I'm not too sure, Tom, we haven't talked about that before,
I think we
but I
have,
forget what the answer and response
Yeah.
was.
Again, that's an annual deal, we should get one from all those contracts, anybody that's doing work for us outside employees should have that updated yearly.
Well, they're at the co-op, anytime they come in, or they come in this week, they come in next week and next month, they're gonna sign it 3 times. They're gonna sign it every time they
And,
walk on the property.
I don't have to do it, just to back on the certain company's property and drop a
Well,
load
it
of
shouldn't
rock.
be if it's contract labor.
I know we shouldn't be, but, on a small scale, I know we are.
Can we just sign a waiver?
I have no idea.
It depends on our insurance company.
I'm sure every insurance got a different policy and procedures that they required. And if we're following those procedures and everything, it'd be no issue, but I know the co-op, they've got real tough situations.
Well, for me, the work comp side of it, work comp's not gonna cover my wages as a sole proprietor.
Yeah, it doesn't cover mine either.
Yet, as a subcontractor to say your insurance company may or may not require me to have it. Some insurance companies would let me get by signing the waiver to defer it. Other insurance companies require me to have work comp for no employees and a certificate of workers' compensation insurance for me to work for you, even though I can't ever make a claim against that policy.
So, when you fix my water leak, should I have had you sign a waiver?
See?
I mean, sometimes it gets,
Yeah, it gets complicated, but I mean,
It
insurance is anymore.
can get complicated, especially if something serious happens.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I'm thinking about, I mean,
Yeah.
But you use Cody once in a great while, we're using some of these people weekly,
I know, I've used Cody once.
which is
Yeah.
really a lot more
A lot more
liability.
exposure.
Yeah. Fuel, 246, 6 days later, 252.
You know, all the committees that we got appointed, Trust Point told us here a couple, 3 weeks ago that those committees are all under our umbrella.
Yes.
But
Specifically
you take,
stated in there for that
you take
reason.
this other situation,
Yeah, we need
It's
to
a
make sure
different
they're in that umbrella as well.
it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Well, and I know on the work comp deal that drastically affects our premiums if we cover them or not.
Exactly. Might get an audit, mine's coming up in March. And anybody ever that checks you for contract labor has produced.
Right. And if they don't produce it,
Then
you pay
my
for it.
bill goes up.
Right.
So contract labor includes all the attorneys that we pay. Whether we use them or not, we pay them so much a month just to be
Retainers.
retained,
Retained.
retained is the word.
That's about $900
So
a month.
it includes them also, huh?
I don't know. That's, I guess,
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
Good discussion for our insurance provider.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I've got to call in to them.
And it's not an easy answer right away, it's just
It's a good question.
with our last audit and our, like I say, the premium going up 56,000 and the scope of things, and,
It was basically in 2 categories.
yeah. Cody, do you know Bettis owns Mid-States now?
They always have.
Been doing that for real long. Yeah, maybe
On paper or?
Yeah, well, maybe I'm confused.
Okay. I didn't know on paper, but I met Dave.
When I was at the case, he's down in Wichita, I was talking to
Chad Gerhart.
Yeah. Well, I thought he said they recently acquired the one in Garnett, outside of Garnett.
No, they bought that old quarry.
I thought that was Mid-States. Okay, that's where my confusion comes in.
But no, I thought Bettis and Mid-States have always been, either one owns the other, or same guy owns them both, or.
And that's Corey south of Garnett was not Mid-States,
I think it was Whitaker.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Whitaker aggregates. Yeah.
We've been in violation of that statute for a long time, because we never really did that until just the last year or two.
I don't
No,
know.
no, it just says they have to hold a public meeting.
Says a public meeting annually to advise with highway officials in road, bridge, and culvert improvement. It doesn't
Right.
say anything about
So
public.
basically, he has a public meeting with officials every week,
Yeah, it doesn't say anything.
But not-
Yeah, it doesn't say anything, yeah. That's kind of weird.
specific to the projects, the way I read it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be here at 11 tomorrow.
Yeah.
You think it'll take about how long?
I think we could probably be done maybe by noon, I'm thinking.
In that area?
12:30, yeah. I'm hoping. I'm going over everything again
But
today.
if everybody else gonna be done,
Huh?
but is everybody else gonna be done by then?
Well, we're close to the public at noon, so, yeah.
I don't know if you were in here, but no, nobody goes home until everybody goes home.
So they just sent that message out to the department heads.
That was already sent out.
Yeah. Okay,
But I don't
so,
think you were in here when I think Denise was in here when we were discussing that.
Yeah,
so
Denise
you're
was, but
saying,
then. So that includes us?
I don't know. If
But I'm planning on leaving.
we're including other people, why doesn't it include us?
I don't know, I'm just saying.
so when everyone's done, then,
Then the courthouse will officially be
I thought you
closed.
said whenever we sent the message out, that everyone could go, that people just couldn't leave at noon.
Well, we will notify them when everybody's done, we will notify them, and then everybody can leave. Yeah, basically, yeah, when we notify them.
Okay. I misunderstood that.
But a year ago, Karen said she didn't balance till later. Now, how much later was that a year ago?
I have no idea. You got to ask her.
Kind of message we left, when the commission's done, everybody could leave. But I wouldn't think we'd be done until she's finished.
I don't know. Do you want me to go get her?
We'll just.
Is surely
tomorrow
didn't,
till she's done.
it surely didn't take till 5 o'clock for her to finish last year.
Easy to fix.
We'll know that tomorrow. If you can't tell us today, we'll know that tomorrow, and then when she,
It's not gonna change anything, is it?
no, or,
I wouldn't think we'd be able to be finished up if somebody else is still balancing. But
Well,
what
she's
she does-
counting cash.
I'm sorry?
She's just counting her cash on hand, whereas we're doing budget year-end transfers.
Right, and once we approve the transfers, and she has to make the transfers and file.
No, I do those,
Or, okay.
but she won't do those until the next day anyway, until we come back. All she does is balance the cash from all departments.
I didn't see anything in here that really addressed whether contract employees were part of it or not, so.
Well, they'll be getting back with us, so we'll have an answer soon.
You know, someone was asking about the hits we've had on YouTube.
Yeah.
See who's watching? It's, like, the last meeting was 16 views. The
Oh,
meeting
16 views for that whole week.
for
for
the
last week.
23rd. And then we've got 20 views, we've got 90 views, we've got 77 views, we've got 40 views, 160 views, 134, 61, 40, 134, 160, 61, 77, 90.
So they're all over the board though, from,
Did you wanna spend your Christmas watching us last week?
I'm sorry?
Did you wanna spend your Christmas watching us?
Probably, everybody else has much better things to do.
They had things to do that's more
last week.
important than sitting around watching us.
Hope you don't feel bad, Tom, that I haven't been watching you.
I don't feel bad. Well, you've probably seen me enough, huh?
I haven't been watching me either.
Brad's still in here somewhere.
Okay.
Just for conversation, guys. Just, no, just food for thought. Cody and I have been keeping track. Wayne signed off 3 times last year with these degrees or whatever you wanna call them.
Your thought is maybe it should have been more?
Well, we think 3 times out of 52 weeks is not very good percentage.
Yeah.
When,
Yeah, I know it hadn't came up very much.
That's it.
That's it, I guess.
What you,
Well, the voucher been signed, Fred?
As far as I know, everything's come this way.
Angie, you have anything else for a roundtable?
I do not.
Fred?
No.
Tom?
none at this time.
Okay. Bob?
Nope.
Good. And I don't have anything. Tom?
I have nothing.
Okay. So we'll recess until, still 11 o'clock tomorrow, Angie. Recess at 1:23 to 11 o'clock tomorrow.